Welcome back to Montana this morning, everyone. The time is now 6:45. What a beautiful way to start the weekend. A nice clear sky, sun just coming up past the horizon and glowing that early morning sky. Well, if you're just joining us this morning, we're following some breaking news out of Missoula. The Montana Highway Patrol just reported one suspect is in custody after a trooper was shot and injured Thursday night. It was one of several incidents that occurred near Evero. MTM's Dennis Bragg filed this report earlier this morning while investigators were still gathering evidence, searching for a suspect, and processing the crime scenes.
Missoula police received the initial call shortly before 11 p.m. Thursday night with reports of gunfire and that multiple people had been shot near the Stone Creek Lodge at Expressway and Tanager Way. Sergeant Travis Wells says when the first officers rolled up, they confirmed 2 people had been shot and a third uninjured person had made the 911 call. From the very beginning, Missoula units were looking for a Cadillac SUV with patrol cars fanning out and looking throughout the surrounding residential area and starting to block off traffic to preserve the crime scene and evidence on Expressway. But after the initial police response here at Expressway, the scene quickly changed, with officers going as far north as Evero and as far south as Lolo in attempts to locate the suspect. And that's when other agencies began to jump into the case.
The jurisdiction changed in January, so that used to be county property. Now it's actually city property. But we have MHP, obviously the Missoula County Sheriff's Office, Missoula Police Department, Airport Police, and then we have multiple agencies in neighboring counties.
And that response ramped up quickly after the report of the second officer-involved shooting on Evero Hill less than an hour later, forcing investigators to not only look for the shooter, but cope with the additional stress.
There's 2 active investigations that are very fresh. There's so many different moving parts, and so yeah, I think that with the different jurisdictions, they're still working out a lot of those details.
For a time after the shooting, Providence St. Patrick Hospital, where the first victims were taken, was on a security lockdown as a precaution.
It's moving very fast, so we're just really trying to take care of that #1 priority of keeping the public safe.
In Missoula, Dennis Bragg, MTN News.
And now we go to New Zealand, where at least 49 fatalities have been reported in Christchurch after a pair of mass shootings at 2 mosques. Police say 4 suspects, 3 men and a woman, are in custody. The Prime Minister is calling it one of New Zealand's darkest days. Congress has approved a resolution that would overturn President Trump's declaration of a national emergency at the southern border. 12 Republicans joined all the Democrats as the measure passed the Senate in a 59-41 vote. The president responded on Twitter with one word: veto. It would be his first since taking office. Both Montana senators voiced their opinion Thursday. John Tester accused the president of robbing the military to build a wall.
We'll be shortchanging our troops in favor of a campaign promise to build a wall that he said Mexico would pay for. The president's plan to raid our military resources would directly hurt Montana's military community and its men and women that are in uniform.
Montana's other U.S. Senator, Republican Steve Daines, voted against the resolution. Daines released a statement saying after visiting the southern border and meeting with local law enforcement in all corners of Montana last month, it's clear we have an illegal drug and illegal immigration crisis on our hands. This is an emergency. Back here in Billings, part of Airport Road was shut down for an hour last night after an SUV rolled and the fire department had to extricate the driver from the vehicle. This was the scene at the Aronson underpass around midnight. The SUV came to rest on its passenger side. The driver and only person in the vehicle, a man, was extricated through the front windshield. It appears the SUV was traveling east on Airport Road toward Main Street in the Heights when it rolled. He received medical attention at the scene, but authorities have not released his current condition, extent of injuries, or details on what caused the crash. Traffic was diverted around the crash scene and Airport Road was shut down to 1 lane for about an hour. Drug addiction was front and center at the Billings Library Thursday night as community members and experts weighed in during a panel discussion. The topic was the local impact of opioids, but the panel said other drugs may be even more of a problem. One speaker said alcohol, meth, and marijuana are the top 3 for drug addiction, with opioids around 4th or 5th. Another person who works with drug addictions said meth makes up about 70% of their cases and opioids are 7%. But there is still a concern for opioids. The experts said it takes understanding and empathy to help people with addictions, and drug addiction is a disease, not a choice. One woman has been off drugs for 3 years and graduated from the drug court in Yellowstone County during this week last year.
It's about a connection. The opposite of addiction is connection. So I'm here to kind of tell my story about it and how I went from not having any hope or faith or anything that was of light to such a bright future.
Once we get people into recovery and we do our job, and we get them through treatment and we get them through the court, then they're out in the community and they need to have continued support, continued resources, but mostly a connection.
In Washington Thursday, Senator Steve Daines asked for solutions for meth addiction in Montana, and he talked about seeing the impact on families after his recent visit to the Rimrock Foundation. Montana state lawmakers are taking action to try and address opioid addiction, passing a bill just this week. House Bill 86, sponsored by Representative Vince Rickey of Laurel, is now awaiting the governor's signature. The bill aims at stopping doctor shopping by restricting most new patients to a 7-day supply of painkillers. It requires physicians to check patients' history in Montana's drug registry before issuing a prescription. It also requires pharmacies to verify the identity of recipients and protects legitimate users of painkillers under close supervision. Attorney General Tim Fox calls the bill a significant step forward in addressing opioid addiction in Montana. Lawmakers in the Montana House have voted for a bill that would prohibit the practice of suspending a driver's license if someone fails to pay fines or court costs. The House voted 71 to 28 for the bill Thursday, which will advance to the Senate for a vote today. Republican Representative Casey Knutson of Malta sponsored House Bill 217, which says courts cannot suspend someone's license as a penalty for not paying a fine or court costs. Knutson says courts could still suspend licenses for crimes or penalties related to driving offenses. Opponents of the bill say lower courts use the license suspension only as a last resort and that it's bad policy to remove this tool. But supporters say taking away someone's license makes no sense if the crime involved has nothing to do with their vehicle.
Somehow the end result of that is the government's ability to take away somebody's ability to drive, even though the two weren't linked at all in the actual conflict. That's ridiculous. You talk about reasons why people don't like government or reasons why people don't trust the courts. It's because of stuff like this.
Judges across the state opposed the bill during its initial hearing last month. And in some lighter news, we go to Butte, where the city is gearing up for its wild St. Patrick's Day celebration this weekend. MTM's John Amy tells us about a time a few years back when the party got a little too wild and what police did to bring it under control.
St. Patrick's Day in Butte is a great time for a party. But there was a time in the mid-2000s when that party got a wee bit out of control, especially for the police. We had beer bottles thrown at us, we had beer cans, it was just chaos there for a few years. And we were in fear of getting officers hurt. About 2003 and 2004, the streets were flooded with drunken revelers. Many remember one man climbing to the roof of the MTM and then relieving himself on the crowd below. Some instances where cop cars were almost tipped over, people walking top the buildings, peeing off some of urinating off some of the signs and stuff in the area. In 2005, police stepped up security through grants by increasing manpower and more than doubling the police presence on the street during the celebration. This made a big difference. 4 to 5 officers in every corner. People are more likely not to break a window or throw beer cans at other people or start a fight. Police also cracked down on underage drinking, and bars agreed to close earlier to help them clear the streets.
You were having Missoula and Bozeman and all the colleges on spring break, and they were going, let's go to Butte. It's lawless over there. We can do whatever the hell they want.
In recent years, police have reported fewer arrests, fewer incidents of vandalism, and most people find the St. Patrick's Day celebration here in Butte a good thing. So if you find yourself walking under the M&M during St. Patrick's Day, well, maybe take an umbrella, just in case.
Hopefully the sun's going to come out and we're going to have a real nice holiday. It's a good bump for Butte, Montana, and we should embrace it.
In Butte, John Amy, MTN News.